Varek stood in front of the High Council on planet Krellos. His black armor shined under the cold lights. He had no fear in his eyes, only focus. He was a soldier, trained from birth. He had fought many battles, destroyed enemies across many worlds. But this mission was different. "Your task is simple," said one of the counselors. "Go to Earth. Find the humans. End their growth before they spread further." Varek nodded. The council believed humans were still weak, still new, to the galaxy, still alone. But something felt strange. He looked at the reports again. 3 scout teams had been sent to Earth before. None returned. No signals, no bodies, just silence. "Maybe they were killed by storms," said another counselor. "Or human traps. We don't care. You go. You end this." Varek gave the salute of war and left the chamber. His ship, Nightpiercer, was small, fast, and silent. It crossed space in 2 days and reached Earth's orbit. From above, Earth looked peaceful. Blue oceans, green lands, white clouds. Beautiful, but that meant nothing. Beauty could be deadly. He activated the stealth mode and flew toward the surface. His ship landed in a quiet forest. No cities nearby. No lights, no defenses. Varek stepped outside. The wind was cold. The trees were tall. The ground was soft. His scanner beeped, no threats detected. He moved quickly, staying low. The forest felt empty, too empty. He activated his helmet recorder. Log entry 1. Landed on Earth. No signs of resistance. Beginning search. Hours passed. Nothing. No humans. No machines, not even wild animals. Then something strange happened. His scanner blinked red. Movement detected. He stopped. A shadow passed between the trees. He turned fast. Nothing there. He moved forward. Suddenly a bird flew up screaming. His heart jumped. It was just an animal. Or was it? He walked into a small clearing. That's when he saw it. Broken helmet from Krellos, his people's tech. He ran over and picked it up. The mark on it showed it was from Scout Team 2, the team that disappeared 6 months ago. But there was no body. No signs of battle, just the helmet, placed perfectly on a tree stump, as if someone left it there on purpose. His eyes scanned the area. His hand reached for his blaster, then crack! A soft sound behind him, a step on a twig. He spun around and fired, but he hit nothing. Silence. He turned on full scan mode. Heat, sound, motion, still nothing. But Varek knew he wasn't alone. He moved. Out of the clearing. The sky had grown darker. Clouds covered the stars. The air was thicker now. He entered an old, broken town. Rusted cars, cracked roads, empty houses. It looked abandoned for years. "Strange," he whispered. "This doesn't match the satellite images." He stepped into a small building. Maybe. It was a shop long ago, broken glass on the floor, dust everywhere, but something caught his eye. A wall, painted in red. "We see you." His stomach turned. This was not human writing, it was Krellian script. That meant someone from Krellos had been here. Recently. He turned to leave, but the door slammed shut behind him. Everything went black. His helmet lights shut off. His system froze. Then, a voice. Deep, calm, close. "You thought we wouldn't notice another one of you landing." Varek grabbed his blade. "Show yourself." The lights returned. He was alone. But then the shadows moved. Figures stepped out from the corners. Humans. They wore dark suits covered in ash and mud. Their eyes were sharp. No fear, only focus. A tall man stepped forward. His face had scars. His armor was old but strong. "You're not the first Krellian," the man said. "But you might be the last." Varek raised his weapon. "You can't stop me," the human smiled. "Oh, we're not here to stop you," he said. "We're here to study you." The humans vanished into the dark. Varek stood alone again. But now, the fear had entered him. This was not a simple mission. This was a trap. And the humans, they were hunters. Varek didn't sleep that night. His mind kept replaying what happened in that dark shop. The lights had gone out. Shadows had moved, voices had whispered, but nothing showed up on his scanners. Who were those humans? He had seen fear in many species, weak eyes, shaky hands begging for mercy. But these humans, no fear, just calm, quiet, confidence, like they had seen this before, like they were waiting for him. He sat in a small bunker deep in the forest. It was the only shelter he could find, half broken, but safe for now. He opened a communication link to Krellos. No signal. He tried again. Nothing. He was cut off. Alone, hunted. Morning came slowly. The sun peeked through the trees. The air was damp. Fog covered the forest. Varek stepped outside. His armor had scratches. His blade was low on charge. But he was not afraid. Not yet. He decided to track the humans. If they knew he was here, they must have left traces. He moved through the trees, silent, careful. After hours he found something, footprints. But these were not normal. They were light, almost invisible, and they circled him. His heart stopped. These humans had been following him all night. They had walked around him, surrounded him, and he never noticed. He felt a chill in his bones. He followed the prints. They led to a cave hidden behind a thick wall of vines. He stepped in. Darkness swallowed him. Inside the cave he moved carefully. His helmet lit up the stone walls. Strange. Symbols were painted everywhere. Suddenly the ground under his feet clicked. Trap. He jumped to the side just in time. A spike shot from the ground, slicing through his armor's leg plate. Not deep, but painful. He pulled himself forward. Then lights turned on. He was surrounded. 8 humans in black armor stood with weapons aimed at him, but not plasma guns. Old-style rifles, knives, bows, and yet they looked more dangerous than anyone he had faced. A woman stepped forward. Her eyes were sharp. Her voice was firm. "Welcome to Earth's defense. You just met Ghost Team 7. They tied Varek's hands, but he didn't resist. He wanted answers more than escape. They led him deep underground. There, he saw something that shook him. Walls filled with captured alien tech, Krellian weapons, armor, even helmets, all from scouts who had disappeared. "Where are their bodies?" Varek asked. The woman looked at him coldly. "You don't find bodies when you erase the enemy. They brought him to their commander. A tall man with silver hair and an old scar down his face, Commander Reeve. He sat at a table in a room with no windows. He motioned for Varek to sit. "We don't kill first," Reeve said. "We watch, we learn, we strike only once." Varek studied him. "You knew I was coming," Reeve nodded. "We knew before your ship even left Krellos." Varek was stunned. "How?" Reeve smiled. "Because we hacked your systems a year ago." Reeve stood and walked over to a display screen. He showed Varek videos, human soldiers fighting battles. In other galaxies, not with high-tech weapons, but with pure strategy, traps, terrain, timing. One video showed 6 humans destroying an entire Krellian camp using only smoke and sound. No one saw them, no one heard them, but every Krellian died. "You see," Reeve said, "we don't win with numbers. We win with understanding." Varek looked down. "My people think you are weak." Reeve leaned closer. "And that's our greatest weapon." Varek was not put in a cell. He was given a room, clean, quiet. They wanted him to see, to understand. Each day, he was shown more videos. Stories of how ghost teams across Earth had prepared for alien threats. They had trained in silence, in caves, in deserts, in deep oceans. They had studied every alien species, learned their moves, their fears, their weaknesses. "We waited," Reeve told him one night, "because we knew you'd come." But Varek also saw something else. Compassion. Humans weren't monsters. They helped each other, shared food, laughed, fought hard, but also loved hard. One soldier gave up his blanket for a sick child. Another lost an arm in training, but still smiled and told jokes. These people were not just warriors, they were dangerous because they cared. One night, the alarms blared. An unknown object entered Earth's sky. Another ship. Not Krellian. Something else. Reeve looked serious. You'll see what we're really preparing for. Varek didn't speak. He didn't know if he came to destroy humans or to become one of them. Varek stood in the war room, watching the large screen. That night, Varek sat in silence. The choice was simple. Return to Krellos and warn them. Show the truth. Maybe stop the coming war. Or stay here. Fight beside the humans. But if he stayed, he'd be hunted as a traitor. If he left, he might not even reach his home. Either way, there was no going back to the life he knew. He remembered what the boy had said. Did you lose? Yes, he lost something, but he gained something too. He gained understanding. An alarm rang again. But this time it wasn't an attack. A stealth pod was ready, a gift from the humans. Reeve stood at the platform waiting. You've made your choice? He asked. Varek nodded. I'll go. I'll try to stop this. Reeve gave a slight smile. That's all we ask. Why trust me? Varek asked. Reeve's eyes were calm. Because you stayed this long. The ghost team gathered. Even the wounded came to say goodbye. The woman, who had saved Varek from the Red Swarm, gave him a nod. Come back if you survive, she said. Varek gave her a sharp salute. If I survive... The pod launched. Varek flew into space once more, but this time he didn't feel like a hunter. He felt like a messenger, a witness. He looked at the Earth below, blue, quiet, beautiful, and terrifying. He knew what the Council would say. They would laugh at his warning. They would plan an invasion. They would make the greatest mistake in the galaxy. But he would try. He had to try, because if the rest of the universe ever saw what he saw, if they ever watched the humans fight, they would understand what he now knew deep in his soul. You don't fight humans to win. You fight humans to lose. The stealth pod floated through deep space. Varek sat inside, gripping the small data. Crystal tightly. It held everything, proof of human strength, battle tactics, sacrifice, and something more, hope. He stared through the pod's window. Behind him, Earth was just a glowing dot now, but in his heart, it felt much bigger. It wasn't just a planet anymore, it was a warning, and now he had to deliver that warning to Krellos. As the pod moved closer to Krellian space, Varek sent a coded signal to the Council. This is Varek. Mission complete. I bring vital intelligence. Request immediate landing. The reply came fast. Landing cleared. Escort units deployed. No resistance will be tolerated. That last line made his stomach turn. They were suspicious and he didn't blame them. He had gone silent for days. His tracker had been removed. And he was returning with human technology in hand. They thought he might be compromised, and they were right, because something inside him had changed. 2 escort ships met him just outside Krellian orbit. Turn off weapons. Prepare for full scan. One of them ordered coldly. Varek obeyed. He had no choice. They locked onto his pod and guided him to the main defense port above the capital. As he landed, he could already see armed soldiers waiting, not just guards. Execution squad. His heart pounded. This wasn't a welcome. This was a trap. He stepped out of the pod slowly, holding the crystal in plain view. 2 soldiers grabbed his arms. You will speak to the Council, one growled. No lies, no tricks. They dragged him through the halls of the capital fortress. The walls were tall and cold, lined with metal statues of past warriors. Varek used to admire them. Now they felt hollow. Dead. The council chamber was filled with silence. The High Council sat in a half-circle, faces blank, eyes sharp. Varek stood, alone in the center. You went to Earth, one councillor said. You failed to destroy them. Varek held up the crystal. I didn't fail, I found the truth. This holds proof of what I saw. Another councillor hissed. We already know. Our spies said humans are weak. Your spies are dead, Varek replied. The room went quiet. He placed the crystal in the center console. A projection lit up. Images of Ghost Team 7, humans training blindfolded, red swarm creatures burning in piles, and Earth's underground base filled with strategy. Maps and alien tech. Gasps echoed around the room. One counselor stood. These could be fakes, Varek stepped forward. I saw it with my own eyes. I was captured, I was shown everything, and they let me go. Let you go? A voice spat. Then you are a traitor. Suddenly, guards entered the room. By order of the council, one announced, Varek is to be detained and executed for spreading fear and lies. Varek's hands balled into fists. I came to save you, he shouted. They're not what you think. If you invade, you will lose. No one listened. The guards moved in. Varek acted fast. He grabbed one guard's shock rod and swung it in a wide arc, knocking the others down. Alarms blared. He ran. The fortress was a maze, but Varek had trained here for years. He knew every tunnel, every door. He sprinted through back passages, dodging blasts, sliding under gates. He needed to escape, not just to survive, but to warn someone, anyone. He couldn't let Krellos start a war with Earth, because Earth wouldn't fight to win. Earth would fight to end them. He reached a small hangar where old fighter ships were kept. Most were dusty, unused, but one, Shadow Fang, was still active. He jumped into the cockpit, powered the engines, and blasted through the hangar doors. Chasing ships followed. He weaved between laser blasts, his heart pounding, just before entering. Warp, he sent one last message across all neutral channels. To any species who will listen, stay away from Earth. Do not test them. I saw what they can do. I was sent to destroy humans, and I barely escaped alive. The message spread, across planets, across systems. Some believed it, some laughed. But those who had seen Earth from afar, they started preparing. Because one Krellian soldier had returned with fear in his eyes, and fear was louder than any war. Varek drifted in deep space. His ship, Shadowfang, was damaged. Sparks flickered from the control panel. He had escaped Krellos, but just barely. He was tired, bleeding, hunted, but he was alive. And now he had a mission of his own, no longer for the council, not for orders, not for revenge, for truth. He floated through a neutral zone. No war, no laws. Just empty space and old satellites. He sent his warning across dozens of channels. He didn't care if anyone believed him. He just needed someone to listen. Earth is not weak. Earth is not primitive. They don't fight like us. They fight. With silence, with sacrifice, with shadows. I was sent to destroy them, and I barely escaped alive. Some replies came in. Most ignored him. Some mocked him. One message simply said, "We know, we've seen them too." Varek stared at those words. He was not alone. He landed on a small hidden moon, a place used by rogue traders and outcasts. The air was thin, the sky was red, but it was quiet. There, he found a group of outlaws from different species, rejected by their governments, marked as traitors or cowards. One of them, an old Zarine warrior, listened to Varek's story in silence. "I saw humans once," the Zarin said. "On Vega 4, they didn't just defeat our army. They made us disappear. No news, no bodies, just silence." Varek nodded slowly. "They did the same to Krellian scouts, one by one." Another outlaw, a trader from the Kalari system, joined in. "They trade little. They speak less. But if you touch their world—" She stopped, shivered. "They make you regret ever knowing the stars." They sat in silence for a while. Then Varek stood. "I want to show you what I saw." He played the human footage again. Ghost Team 7, the Red Swarm battle, the underground base, the children learning code and traps, the wounded helping the weak. The room was silent. One outlaw whispered, "This "This is the true Earth," another said. "No empire will believe this. They'll send fleets," Varek clenched his jaw, "and those fleets will burn." But then a message arrived, not from Krellos, not from the outlaws, from Earth. It was encoded, but Varek had learned the pattern. He opened it. It was Commander Reeve. The video was short. Reeve sat in a command room, calm as always. "Varek, we intercepted your escape. We saw what you tried to do. You risked everything for truth. Earth remembers." He paused. "But prepare yourself. Krellos has voted. The invasion begins in 7 days." Varek stood frozen. 7 days. His homeworld had ignored the warning. They were going to attack. They would send everything, ships, troops, weapons, and Earth would not beg. Earth would respond, with fire, with silence, with complete destruction. Varek looked at the outlaws. "I need your help." They looked at him. "You want to stop the war?" one asked. "I want to save my people," Varek said, "even if they don't deserve it." They were quiet for a long moment. Then the old Tsarin stood. "I've lived long enough. Let's try something different." Another followed, then another. Together they boarded stolen ships. Old-patched but fast, they sent a message, this time not as soldiers but as witnesses, to Krellos, to the Galactic Council, to any race that would listen. "Do not attack Earth. You will not return. This is not a planet of peace, nor is it one of easy war. This is a world of ghosts, of fury, of fire. You won't see them coming. You won't understand how you lost, but you will lose." The message spread fast. Some ignored it, but others paused. They remembered missing scouts, silent borders, ships that never came back. Whispers filled the galaxy. Is it true? Is Earth that dangerous? Can a small world really defeat an empire? And far away, in the cold chambers of the Krellian fleet, a general stared at Varek's face on screen. "This one ran," the general growled. "He's weak." But still the general hesitated. Just for a second, and sometimes a second is all that's needed to stop a war. Back on the outlaw moon, Varek stood under the stars. The others talked and planned, but he stood alone. The war might still come, but now the galaxy was not blind. Now they knew the truth. He whispered to himself, "I was sent to destroy humans, and I barely escaped alive. But now, maybe someone else won't have to."